Hey, this is Meredith from vidpromom.com, and this is video number 2 in my Kick-Ass Edits tutorial series. We're breaking down some of the editing tricks of some of our favorite YouTubers so that we can achieve the same results with our own footage. The goal here is to create really fun to watch videos. You put a lot of effort into capturing some moments on camera and taking the time to actually edit them. You want people to enjoy watching them, right? So what is it that makes videos fun to watch? Is it some kind of secret trick or something? They're snappy. They move quickly. They keep your attention because your brain doesn't want to miss something. It's not necessarily the shooting that makes your video snappy. It's what happens in the editor with your jump cuts. So let's look at some examples. Oh, and I have a freebie for you after the tutorial that will help to make sure that you capture tons of really great footage so that you have lots of footage to choose from when you are editing. So stay tuned for that. Okay, let's go to the computer. Basically what we're talking about is jump cuts. So here's a really great example from Sarah DG. So what's happening here is Sarah is on the top of the Empire State Building. She's shooting video of different things like the traffic and just the city itself, the lights and all that stuff. And instead of just, panning her camera around to kind of take in the full picture, she has put in these crazy little jump cuts to make it really snappy. So you get the experience, you get that footage, and you get that imagery that she wants to include as part of her story, but it's not long. It's snappy and it moves and it keeps your eye moving and it keeps your eye interested so that you don't want to look away. You have to pay attention or you're gonna miss something. Now, if you watched my last video in the Kick-Ass Edits tutorial series, it was on a time-lapse trick and it was on a really subtle speed change that you can make in your time lapses to make them really interesting. And I don't know if you noticed, but there was a little bit of a time-lapse thing going on with the traffic in Sarah's vlog. Now here's another example of a way to do a jump cut in your video where you sync up your jump cut with what's going on in your music. If you notice this one from John Olson, the point of view of the camera doesn't change with every single beat, but when it changes on the beat with the music. So syncing your jump cuts to your music is kind of a little bit of a foolproof way. If you're not really sure where to make your cuts, sync it up to the music and it's probably going to be pretty good like that. Here's another one from John Olson. Now, yes, he's shooting from a helicopter, beautiful mountains and all that stuff. Your footage may not be quite as epic as his, but notice that he can capture his experience in the helicopter, his view from the helicopter from all different angles, but you're only seeing a few seconds of every angle and then he moves on to the next angle. So he's just jump cutting the heck out of it in order to pack the most experience and the most imagery into the shortest amount of time in the video, because his video is not about the helicopter ride, right? It's about a whole bunch of other things, but the helicopter ride is part of the story. What he's doing is showing tiny little snippets of video in order for you to get the full effect of his experience. And it's part of him telling the story without you having to literally kind of sit there as if you were in the cab with him, right? So maybe it was a 10-minute cab ride, but you were only seeing not even 10 seconds of that cab ride, but still you are getting that experience. So the jump cuts and being snappy with the jump cuts, and if you can, syncing it up with your music a little bit, that's what I'm talking about here with creating snappy jump cuts. It really enhances the experience for the viewer and how they experience your video and your retelling of whatever the experience is that you're trying to retell. In a lot of ways, having nice, snappy, or even choppy jump cuts really prevents your videos from being kind of boring. So how can we apply those cool snappy jump cuts to our own videos. Let's jump right in here. So I have open Cyberlink Power Director, and yes, I'm on a PC. Most of the time I do my tutorials on a Mac, but I really want to show you in this Kick-Ass Edits tutorial series that it doesn't matter whether you're using a Mac or a PC, and it really doesn't matter what video editing software you're using. So I've just basically opened up Power Director, created a new project. I haven't done any editing or anything. All I've done is imported some clips, and these are all GoPro clips. Let me just drag one of these down to our timeline here. So this is footage from when my husband and my brother and I went to Nashville for a couple of days. This was a couple of years ago, actually. So basically, it's just we walked up and down Broadway Avenue in Nashville. There isn't really a whole lot exciting going on. There's no helicopters. There's no Empire State Building. So basically, we're walking up the street and going into a couple of shops and trying on cowboy hats and cowboy boots and then walking back down the street. So it's not that exciting, but it was a really fun time, and Nashville is a really beautiful city. So I can take these 12, 13 clips, which is probably like 10 or 15 minutes worth of footage. Nobody wants to watch 10 or 15 minutes worth of footage of us walking up and down Broadway Avenue in Nashville. That's why we need to apply some funky, snappy jump cuts to this footage in order to be able to tell the story of our experience there in a really fun to watch way. Okay, so I have this clip here, and it's nice. I mean, we're just literally crossing the street. I want to include that because it's got these really cool, rays of sun in there, and, I like that. That's pretty cool. So right here where my scrubber bar is, I'm going to right click, come up here to split, and it's going to split that clip in half for me. And then I just moved that so I could give myself a little bit more space here. And then is there anything else interesting? I'm just scrubbing along here on this clip. That's kind of a cool shot here. So I'm going to split there. So I'm just going to get rid of that part there. I'm going to hit play here. Yeah, that looks good. The sun kind of ducks down in front of those people there. So that's kind of cool. So I'm going to split my clip there, and then I'm going to just move that one back together over there. And then let's see, is there anything else worth saving from this clip? So actually, this guy is playing and singing. Maybe you can hear him. So that's kind of a cool clip. I got him as we were walking by. So maybe we want to keep him in our video a little bit. So I think I'll just take this and slide it to there, and then take the end to maybe like right there, and then I can take this whole thing and put it down there. Now I've taken a clip that was probably, what was it, maybe around 30 seconds long, and brought it down here to 3 seconds. Okay, so that's quite a big difference here, right? So let's play what I have so far. I'm just going to switch this over to movie and hit play. Let's find another clip here that we can do. We went into a couple of shops to try on some boots and hats. So let's check this out. See what we can do here. So obviously you don't want to watch an entire video of us walking around these boot shops, right? But we do want to give you, that part of the experience. So I'm going to cut from the beginning here, from right about there where I'm kind of walking along this row of boots, and then maybe right there we will trim. So split there. I'm going to move this down here. You can see here in Power Director that it has a little green check mark next to the clips that I have used, which is really helpful. So let's come down to this one here. This is my brother trying on boots. Let's try Control T on that. Oh, and I can hit Shift Delete to get rid of that clip there. And we'll keep this little spot here. My brother's going to try on these boots. So basically how can we capture this experience without you having to sit through the entire deal, right? So he's sitting down, he takes off his shoe, right? We're going to cut to here where he is going to actually put the boot on. And I'm going to hit Control Delete so that it does a ripple delete, getting rid of that one clip and then moving them together. So he's going to try on that boot. We're going to cut there and then keep going to see maybe like right here, and then Control Delete. We want to see. Okay, yeah, he looks like he's enjoying that. Not really. So we'll keep that part though, because that's kind of funny. And now he's gonna try and take these things off. So let's cut that and then Control Delete. Okay, so he's pulling his boots off. And then he puts him down, and then he changes his mind about trying on boots, it looks like. So let's play that whole sequence there. All right, so you see how I took a super long clip of trying on boots and turned it into just the good part, like just the really interesting part of that story, okay? So I'm gonna highlight all of these and bring them down here. So I pulled another one down here onto the timeline of a pair of purple cowgirl boots that I tried on. I don't wear cowgirl boots, you guys. I don't want to have the entire process of trying on the boots, maybe just a little bit here. So I'm going to cut here. See, and then I show them off and then boom. Okay, that's a good place to end it there. And then we'll keep a little bit here. Okay, so my husband had the GoPro there, not exactly perfect with the angle, but that's okay because this is just a fun video. All right, so let's see what else we can add here. So here is, I think, the guy's trying on some hats. So I'm just kind of going through and cutting and deleting and keeping and then keeping going. So we want to keep some of that because that's pretty cool. Let's see. Let's get past that sun flare. That sun flicker is kind of neat, but it's a little bit unnecessary here. So we got the horse saying hello. That's pretty cool. That is a good shot. I'm not even going to cut that. I'm going to leave that one a little bit on the long side because I really want to get that full effect there. And then I think we're good with that. And then what else do we have? So hopefully you're seeing how this works. I'm just going through the footage here. That could be long and could be kind of boring and cutting out stuff, but just keeping little snippets of the good stuff, little snippets of the things that really kind of work to tell the story of the experience. I see there are some places here where I've got some gaps happening, so I'm just gonna see if I can close up some of these gaps. I haven't used Power Director a whole bunch yet, so I'm not sure what all of the tips and tricks are. So I'm going to come over here, make sure I'm on movie here. I'm going to hit play.
Oh, that's definitely. Yeah, it has to hurt. They want to flick in this room.
Don't do that. It would?
Oh, yeah. Left hand. Squirt you to it. This is where it's at.
Oh, yeah.
so that's all we have, 55 seconds. So I think if I actually muted a lot of these clips and just added some background music and maybe only had some of the sound going from where we're talking, or my brother's talking about the boots and about the hat and stuff like that, and keep the audio there, because that's really part of the story. Because we have jump cuts while we're walking up and down the street and there's street musicians playing, the sound and the music in the background is also being jump cut, right? So we could add in our own music, find some royalty-free music there if we wanted to, or you can just keep it the way it is. It's totally fine. So what we've done here is taken several minutes, like 15 or 20 minutes worth of footage, and just kind of extracted the really good parts, the really interesting parts, in a way that where we put them together, it tells the whole story without having to relive an entire, 20-minute video. Alrighty, so now you know how to jump cut the heck out of your already amazing footage. But I do have one more editing tip for you, and it's something to keep in mind no matter what kind of footage that you're editing. It's to make sure that your video is telling some kind of story, and it doesn't have to be Oscar worthy. What I like to think of is, we came somewhere, we did something, it was awesome. It's really that simple. So I created a printable shot list for you for the next time that you go out and shoot something, and it doesn't matter what it is. Going on vacation, doing a trail race, a birthday party, a music session, cooking a meal, opening Christmas presents, what to capture in almost any situation so that you have a great story of, we came somewhere, we did something, it was awesome, the end. So if you're into that, let me know over at vidpromom.com/shotlist, and I'll send it directly to your inbox, and I'll also hook you up with the other tutorials in the Kick-Ass Edits series. I'll link to that below, but before you go, hit me up in the comments and let me know what it is that you like to shoot so that I can add some more shooting ideas to that shot list, and it will help other people out as well. And don't forget to like this video if it was helpful for you, and subscribe so you can hear from me again in the future. Bye.